Um, I want to go back a little bit for you and talk about how you got into music in the first place. Just like what kind of sparked your passion for it, and then once you got into that stage in high school where you needed to sort of make that decision that you were like, "Yep, this is what I want to do." So what sort of how did you get into that, like throughout middle school and then high school? Like what sort of things shaped you in that way?
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear every musician always say this, that they grew up in a house of musicians, or like, that kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
my grandma would do piano lessons, and she always played organ and piano. And so, although it was never like really pushed on me,
Mm-hmm.
it just felt like something that most people at least had an aspect of their life involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I enjoyed it, and I listened to music. And middle school, and I think it was fourth grade, maybe I picked up a bassoon. And it was just pure coincidence that like I could make a sound on the reed, and my hands were just big enough to reach like across the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Yeah, do you want to do this or horn?" I was like, "Bassoon, sure." And like just random, like you
Yeah.
don't think about it in the moment. And so I went through and kind of continued on. And I moved a fair amount when I was younger, and then I got to Virginia. And they had good music programs in the schools, and I enjoyed them. And at a certain point, like I loved science as well. I was a big
Mm-hmm.
science person. And I really kind of found passions in both of those. And at a certain point, I was like, well, I don't know specifically what I want to do, but I know what I'm passionate about. And at a certain point in high school, like you win an audition or two, and then your teacher tells you like, you might want to look into this. And I kind of thought like, huh, like maybe that is something I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we went through it. And I don't know if I'd mentioned this, but like I wasn't 100% certain that I wanted to do music
Sure.
going into college. I knew I was passionate about it, and I loved it. um, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. And I really lucked out with my professor in Michigan, and he kind of has a scientific mind about music and a logical kind of description of things. And there was a moment I remember that he described a technique on bassoon that everybody just does on bassoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is why we do it, because it breaks the harmonic." And I was like, just completely blown away. And like it was a scientific explanation. I was like, that is so cool. And it was like, and it was in that moment that I was like, oh, this is really something that's really kind of profound, and really works on a lot of different levels. There's kind of an ever spinning tornado of knowledge that you kind of have to have in that field. um, and then I just thought like, man, so many people should be aware of this at least. And then I thought, well, like if I want people to appreciate it, I should teach them to appreciate it. And hopefully, like I always tell my students here, like it doesn't matter to me if you go into music. You don't need to go into music to get, like my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to like hear a song on the radio and be able to critically analyze it, or to promote the arts or fight for the arts, and understand that it's an important part of people's lives. And I thought, I mean, I got to do that. Like it was just a moment of like, I feel like I'm at least okay at this. And I
Yeah.
like, no matter where I'm at, even if I'm not good at it, I'm going to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was lucky to be at an institution that really trained us well to do that. Um, and that's just kind of where I got to. And it just, just kind of like little steps here and there of, not knowing where it might take you. And like you have an end goal, and then you just take a little step this way and go, huh, and kind of, like it's a parallel path maybe, or
Yeah.
something along those lines. And I wasn't one of those people that was like, I'm going to do this,
Mm-hmm.
100%. And it's just gotten more and more interesting every time I do something related to it.